Good morning, everyone. I just want to follow up on, go through some what's happened overnight and what you could prepare for in the US trading, European trading session and the US products. A quick look at the spreads we were looking at yesterday, and then a look at the US TEDs. Now, if you look at my stellar chart here, what you can see is I don't know if you can see clearly, but what you can see is a pretty slow moving market, right? So what I've got down the bottom, actually, so what I've got here up on the top here is I've got my pack spreads. Remember what a pack spread was? A pack spread in the Eurodollars is four lots of 1 year spreads, simultaneous 1 year spreads, right? So if you buy one pack spread, you're actually buying one in the red pack, green pack. You're going to be buying one front red 1 year, then you'll be buying one second red 1 year, etc. So basically, if a red green pack spread, it's actually 16 3-month spreads. So what I look at here is I'm looking at, because I know the treasuries have sold off a little bit, not much, only about 7 ticks in the 10 years. So what you'd expect, of course, if you've got a treasury sell-off, you'd expect the front end of the curve to steepen up, go higher, right? So this is your reds green. This is your reds greens pack spread. So it's up a quarter on the day. It already rallied into the close with the sell-off. So that's up a quarter on the day. Up here on the top left-hand corner, you've got the greens to blues pack spread. That's slightly steeper. Not a lot to talk about, but what you see in the blues to golds is to see in the downward move in the treasuries, you see a sell-off, right? So you actually see this type of move in the back months of the Euribor as well. But what you see here is quite a prominent sell-off, only down half, but there isn't much of a move. And then you go into the so that's blues to golds. This is golds to purples, and then purples to oranges, right? So there's not a lot of liquidity in the European first thing in the morning. So right below that, so you've got treasuries down, you've got steepening in the front of the curve. The belly of the curve right now is at that back end of the greens and the blues. They're lower with the sell-off in the treasuries, and that continues flattening going out, right? So what's the treasury spreads doing, right? So if you look here, I've got the 2s, 10s treasury spread, listed spread, right? So it's on net change on the day, like these pack spreads. And you see this is up half a tick, right? So it's up a little bit, which coincides with the up move in the, as you see, with the reds, greens backs, and the whites reds will be up as well. So that's slightly steeper with the sell-off in the treasuries. But what you then see is in the 5s, 10s spread. Remember yesterday I talked about what spreads I would look at, right? So then we look at it's a 5s, 10s spread. This is down a quarter, being as low as down a half. Then if you look at the 10-year to ultra 10-year, it gets a little bit complicated because the 10-year note is actually a 7-year note, cheapest delivered, and the ultra 10-year is a 10-year note. So really this spread here is really a 7-year, 10-year spread. That's slightly down as well. But then you go into the 10s, 30s spread, and that's lower by 2.5 ticks. That's not a lot in terms of that part of the curve. But again, going back, the front end of the curve up, slightly steeper with the treasuries getting sold off. Then same again, 2s, 10s. And then as you move along the curve, flatter and flatter and flatter, right, with the treasuries getting sold off. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to show you. The next thing was are there any opportunities in the TED spreads, right? So what I'll be doing looking here, so I've got the US TED spread as a synthetic spread, which is your 2 times the Eurodollar minus the 2-year, and the 5-year TED spread, which is 4 times the Eurodollar minus the 5-year, right? So you've got the 2-year spread, which is trading at 78.5. Not a lot of movement going on, right? So I'm with a sell-off in the treasuries, I'm probably looking to sell this up to around 80, and I've got a chart below there. And if you look on the chart of the daily, I'd be continuing to look to sell this. I'll change that now to a 10-minute. So there isn't a lot of volatility in the treasuries. The Fed's sort of put a stop to that right now. So I'm looking to sell up to 80s with the treasuries trickling off. I think more interestingly, the bigger opportunity potentially is in the Eurodollar to 5-year trading. You can see this is a daily chart, but a big move, right? So that's it's about 70 ticks from high to low. All triggered this big sell-off from the Fed, becoming extremely dovish, hiking but extremely dovish, so prolonging and stretching out the hikes, the hiking cycle. As you know, that the market's only really looking for 1 or 2 hikes this year, if at all, right? So obviously that's been pushing the treasuries up. We see an upward pressure in that. And then, so what I'm looking for here is, so this is a daily chart. So what I'm looking for, I'm going to change this to 10 minutes whilst I'm on the line. Right, so it's trading around 29.5, the spread. So what I've done here is, while that loads up, if you can capture this. So this is the Eurodollar to 5-year. This is the spread, and this line here, this is 8 p.m. last night. Below is the reds blues. Remember all these indicators: 5s, 10s. That's the 5-year credit spread. That's 2s, 10s spread, and that's the 5-year inverted, right? So that I've got a positive signal. So what you see here is, last night at the close, or at 8 o'clock, the Eurodollar to 5-year was trading up around 31, and now it's around 28, 29.5, right? So when I started to build this out, so I was thinking, just looking at this, I was thinking, well, the treasuries have come off, which is bullish for this particular trade at the moment, the Eurodollar to 5-year. So I was probably thinking I wanted to buy. It's already gone up to 30. That doesn't. So treasuries, the 5-year treasuries has continued to sell off. Of course, I've inversed it, so it makes it a positive signal. Right. So as the treasuries are trickling off, it keeps me wanting to buy this Eurodollar to 5-year. Reds, blues, that's off slightly from, so it's nothing there is telling me that I shouldn't be buying Eurodollar to 5-year. The 5s, 10s, that's down slightly. Maybe that's going to stop the upward pressure being ridiculously high. Nothing's going on in the credit spread, so that's nothing to worry about. There's no major issues between the credit of the two instruments. 2s, 10s, well, of course, that's going to steepen up and put pressure on the upside of this Eurodollar to the 5-year with the sell-off in the treasuries. And of course, this is the 5-year note. This is the inverse, right? So this, of course, is really the treasuries coming off. But as you can see, I've inversed it to be going up. So all in all, from last night's level, if you look at the 5-year where it was, that's a more bullish signal. You've got where the Eurodollar to 5-year was actually, maybe I should have been a little more courage in my conviction and wanted to just buy it. But definitely be looking to buy down at 274.26 in this Eurodollar to 5-year. If, and I put a big if, right? So if the treasuries continue to sell off, right? So that's the most important thing on the execution. Is waiting for enough good edge to get a good level, so that if things go wrong and your signals start to turn, that you've got enough wiggle room that hopefully you shouldn't lose too much or lose anything at all on the way out, right? So that's that, right? So while the treasuries are offered, I'm looking to buy dips in this spread here, which is the Eurodollar to 5-year. So just going back to the curve and looking at the treasuries, the Eurodollar spreads from yesterday. We talked about, so this here is a 5-year, 10-year note. This is down today. You've got the Eurodollar reds, greens pack spread, June 17, June 18, Eurodollar pack spread. They're slightly steeper this morning, with the treasuries selling off. So if you expect, so if you're looking at more European products, you expect the bund, and you're seeing the bunds selling off and the gilts selling off, expect that to roll into the treasuries and put some upward pressure on this Eurodollar to 5-year. So I'll be looking to buy this trade Hopefully it gets a little bit busier later on, so I can actually do a quick video on how to execute. But that's pretty much it, right? So from this morning,